But my passion is to teach people about energy healing, to teach people about our connection with spirit, that we all have this great gift within us and that we all have the ability to create absolutely miraculous changes in our lives, even when it feels like we can't. And so lots of times, many of us have those days when it feels like nothing is coming together for us, or that, this works for everyone else, but the system isn't working for me, kind of thing. So I wanted to talk to you a bit about that, make you understand just how amazing we are, how big of impact we can have in this world, how we do have the ability to co-create, and how we can create such outstanding changes in this world, okay? First and foremost, I always start with how I got into this. Many of you have heard me talk about this story, so I'm just going to keep it quick. But when I was 20 years old, I was living on my own. I was sleeping, having the best sleep of my life, when all of a sudden this being of light was in my room. And it's just something like you'd see out of a sci-fi. But this being was talking to me through my mind. And they were saying, your mom needs help. She's just gone into cardiac arrest. You need to send her all the love and energy you can muster. And I'm thinking, what? No, I didn't actually. I just actually jumped right in that moment. I sat up in bed and I started sending my mom as much love as I could. I was praying. I was promising to be a better daughter. I always laughed that I said I'd throw in a few grandkids if she got through this okay. And I went through this whole scenario in my mind, but I could see it from my bedroom. I could see my mom in this hospital setting, doctors around her, and I saw the monitor flatlining. And I just kept on sending as much love as I could, and I called on angels and everything I could think of. You name it, I was saying it. And then a little while later, I heard everything's okay, so you can go back to bed. And so I did, and I always find that interesting too. I just went to bed, and now I think, really? It's the first time in my life anybody woke me up with a light beaming in my room. But I did go back to bed because there was like this overwhelming peace that everything was okay, that she had been in trouble, but that we helped her and that everything's fine. So I went back to bed. And in the morning, I started recalling this, and to me it seemed more like a dream, but I knew I was awake because I remember shooting up in bed and having this whole discussion with my mom. But I was pretty much sure I made it up, or that I had lost my mind, or that maybe I'd had a few too many beers that night, or whatever it was. I had all this self-doubt, I guess is the word, running through my mind. And then about an hour later, I got this phone call from my dad, and he said, everything's okay, so you don't need to panic. But last night, your mom did go into cardiac arrest. She had flatlined, and then we brought her back. And I still remember that moment because it was pretty guaranteed the biggest holy shit moment of my life. Honestly, excuse my language, but that just doesn't happen every day, right? At least that's what I thought. Happens in my world all the time now. But at that time, I was thinking, this is just the most crazy thing. And it actually went against everything I'd ever been taught, right? Because I believed that if you needed help, you call on your angel team. And they come and they send legions of angels and they help you through this stuff. And here I've got one in my bedroom, and they're saying, wake up, we need you. That just makes no sense. Since that time, I've spent a ton of time learning about energy healing and understanding what goes on in my mind and why I keep being asked to help people. Because I do keep being asked, and I actually can make a difference. And I got to tell you, it's really just through my thoughts and my intention and my free will that I'm going to help somebody in need. And that's why they call on me, because we're here on a system of free will. And we're here on a system that if somebody needs help, somebody down here has to decide, hey, I heard you need some help. Can I help sort something out here, right? Somebody's free will to send some love towards somebody. Somebody's free will to create some kind of change. And I've learned that we can do this for almost anything. So even though I base a lot of my work on energy healing and helping people through physical things and emotional things, I get really good parking spots too. Do you know how that works? How to manifest a parking spot? Right? We've all heard it. Ask for it, trust it, get rockstar parking, give yourself a little high five. That system that you've been learning to use to manifest the best parking spot ever is actually no different than the system I use to help heal people. I put it out there that that's what I want to do. I trust that my people will help me do it, and I know I have the capacity to pull it in. That's all it honestly takes. It is not actually harder to create a miracle than it is a good parking spot. And sometimes a good parking spot is a frickin' miracle in this place, right? Are you with me? Yeah. It's the same system. Thanks. It's the same system. We can create big changes in our world or little changes in our world, and you need to just decide what kind of change you want to create. And then the whole thing is believing that you actually can. That's why parking spots work so good. It's because you actually believe that you can do it. And that's just a little thing, so it's easy to pull in. But it actually isn't any harder to pull in something else into your life. It's just putting the thought, and it's trusting, and it's working with the universe on knowing that we do co-create this world. I want to bring this down to something more real, I guess, because not everybody is hearing that their mom needs help in the night. I'll give you a day-to-day example in my life. About a year ago, my husband and I really needed new tires on our van really bad. And I was busy trying to get my center going and writing and not focusing really on bringing in any kind of income. And my husband said to me, you know what, you have all these big pipe dreams and you're trying to save the world and you're helping people. And he goes, why don't you just get some damn tires for our car? I'm like, oh, okay. Gotcha. Practical kind of guy. I like you. Anyways, I was kind of aggravated that day, but I'm like, you know what, I will. I'll get some tires and I'll find some by the end of the day. And I stomped out of the house, I'll show him. And I got out of the house and I'm like, what the heck? I don't have any money. What am I going to do to get new tires on the van this week? But I went to work. I was busy anyways. It was a day full of bookings, so I never had a chance to think about it other than to tell my people, you guys got to help me out here, right? I just put myself on the line. I know you can do it. Help me get some tires. And so the day went by, and I actually forgot about it. And 5 o'clock rolls around, and I start thinking about, oh my God, I just guaranteed some tires. I am not going home tonight. I started thinking about the fact that maybe I could stay at work and not go home at all, because that might be easier than facing my husband. And so I was sitting there going through this whole thought process when this friend and her husband pull up. And so I did some little chit chat and yeah, how are you kind of thing. And then the husband says to me, do you know, I've been meaning to ask you, do you need new tires? Because I've got this brand new set of winter tires sitting in my garage that we can't use anymore. And I was just wondering, because I noticed they would fit your vehicle. Oh, yes, thank you. Now, how do you think I did that? This is interesting to me because I didn't spend the day thinking, come on, tires, come on, right? Where am I going to get the tires? Starting looking at flyers, starting to phone people, see what the tire situation is out there, see who has a sale on, maybe check Kijiji. There's all kinds of things we could do if we're guided. And if we're guided to follow that, I'm not saying that's wrong, but what I'm saying is I let it go. I trusted that I could pull them in, and then I just completely let it go and said, help me out here. And I didn't do a thing. And the next day, those people actually drove them and delivered them to our house because they thought I was doing them a favor to get them out of their garage. It just blows my mind. What I love to share when I talk about that is the giving and receiving. If we are co-creating this world, if we are the ones answering these people's prayers, if we are the ones helping each other from a distance and hearing somebody call, oh, what, you need tires? I'm on it, right? Hearing it from an energetic level that we have no idea, and being guided to even ask somebody if they need tires that day. That is absolutely phenomenal that would even happen. But to me, what that is based on is the fact that we are connected, and the fact that when we put it out on the line, on the internet of this world, people can respond. And not only do we need to be the ones wanting to manifest, but we also have to be the ones willing to help someone too. So when you get the notion that somebody needs your help, and you sit there and think, oh, I should help that person, but I don't know if I should say anything, right? I got this notion I should call this friend, but I don't know. Call, follow up on that, because those are how miracles happened. Those are the connections. I'm going to tell you another story. I was recently out of the country, and in the middle of the night, I saw and witnessed that somebody needed help. And it was in a dream situation, but I actually told this person, you need to get up and get help. You need to get up and get help. I can't help you from here. You need to get up and get help. Do you know what that person did on this side of the world? Got up and got help during a very scary situation. I'm working through that person in my sleep. They're wide awake, and they hear me, and they go and ask for help because they got the notion that they needed help because they heard a voice telling them to get up and help, to get some help. This is mind-blowing to me. Do you understand this? Because we're here thinking that we got this team up here helping us to co-create this world, and I'm telling you, we're freaking here. We are these people. We are the ones that are connected. We are the ones answering each other's prayers, and we are those spirit guides. We are these angelic beings. We are these people. And whether we are consciously aware of them or not, on an unconscious level, I assure you it is happening. I get called into situations all the time now because people are like, ask Lorraine, she'll just come. And I do in my sleep. I'll just go off and I help people. And I'll remember it. And they'll be able to tell me, I actually called you in. So even though we've never put names and faces to these beings that we've been working with, I am here to explain to you that it is us. And I don't mean to demean the other spirits that also work with us, but I'm telling you, we are just as freaking powerful. And we are just as connected, and we have just as big of a capacity to create change. And the interesting thing to me is that we're all evolving to this. So there's some of you that are nodding your head and you're like, oh yeah, I've had similar situations, or I've had smaller dream situations where I know that something has happened, or I've interacted with somebody. But I'm telling you that there's not one thing that I've had happen to me in my life that I absolutely can't say that you're going to be able to do it too, because I know that we're evolving. I know as I watch, I can see energy, I can see people's chakras changing. And as they're becoming more clear, and as we are becoming more connected to spirit, our spirit, the more powerful things we're able to do is absolutely mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Well, that was a rant. Wait, I'm going to take a breath. Sorry. What else am I going to talk about? Oh, yes. So trust is the biggest part of this system. We are becoming more whole in ourselves. To me, what I see this as it's almost like our soul energy is landing in these bodies, whereas before we kind of worked at an outside level, and now our awareness is becoming more and more open. So our psychic senses are developing further. Our capacity to help heal and send energy is becoming bigger. Our capacity to connect with loved ones on the other side is getting easier to do. And what I need you to do is believe that you've already been hardwired to do this. This already exists within you. This is just something that you have to remember and stand in. This isn't something that you have to take years and years of training to develop. You don't. And many of you are noticing that it's already developing, and more at a rapid pace. And to me, that's just because we're evolving. These times are prophesized, you know. Not very many people talk about that, but I'm gonna. They are. During these times, we're moving into a new world vibration. More and more people are going to be able to connect with spirit, see spirit, hear spirit, feel them. More and more people are going to open up their senses. This is just where we're at, people. And so the ones that are on the fence wondering, I don't know if this is really happening to me. Sometimes I have an inkling. Sometimes I got a little intuition going on. I'm telling hell, yeah, you've got a lot of intuition, and it's just time to open it up. That's all. And it's doing so naturally. But it's trusting that you are. It's trusting that when you get the notion to call someone, you call them and then you go, yes, I knew I was supposed to do that. Right? I'm so mic'd up, I'm wondering if I can get my pendulum out of all this. Just a minute. This is one of my favorite demonstrations to show you how to stand in energy. How to stand in the fact that you guys can already do this. Because it's just a thought process. Right? Our thoughts create our reality, and the smaller that we keep our thoughts, the smaller our reality is. Honest to God. And if I were to sit here and go, oh, I think I could have helped my mom that night, or I think I could get myself some tires. My energy is slow, not very empowered, and there's not so much flow to it. Yes? This is just a thought. It's just a thought that's creating this energy force. But if I were to stand up here and say, I actually know that I can connect with spirit. I've been doing it my whole damn life. And I know I can channel healing energy because that's what I say and do every day. And I know I'm connected to spirit because it is who I am, right to the core of it. And I know I can create amazing, miraculous changes in this world because it is exactly who we are meant to be. And I know that we are in prophesized times, whether people want to talk about it or not, because I happen to know that there is changes going on that nobody wants to talk about, but I'm gonna. Because are you kidding me? Do you know what we're capable of doing? Do you know what we can connect to? Do you know what we can change? Do you know that if we decide to help to heal the world, that we're going to heal it? Do you know that when we sit there and think that there's not anything we can do, then that's probably pretty much what's going to happen in your world? If you can believe that you can manifest anything, the job you want, the relationship you want, the financial situation you want, and you trust and you believe in that system, oh my God, look out, world. I know, it's not a trick. It's the energy. Big energy, big dreams, people. That's what I'm just asking you to do. Look at things a lot different. Understand that we are amazing, amazing, miraculous beings, and that our thoughts do create our reality. And that if we can keep our thoughts focused on the things that we want to do, and keep following our heart, and keep doing what we know is right for us, then amazing, amazing changes happen. I've seen myself be able to change weather in my yard compared to what's happening even over at the neighbors. I've seen people be able to heal from things that you didn't think was curable. I've seen people be able to shift out of lows in their life faster than you can imagine, just through thought and intention. And I understand that people go through times when our thoughts aren't always that high, and that we have trouble believing in ourselves. And that's when you actually have to ask for help. That's when somebody, like any of the people in this building that are tuned in and can do energy healing or psychic work for you and can help you to sort out the clutter in your mind, you need to ask for it. Because it is their free will to help you. And when we hold and help each other, we lift everybody up and we don't leave anybody behind. And I do believe that's what's intended. I don't believe that only some people are meant to have a magical life. I believe every single one of us is meant to. And I know that we will. All right. Well, at the expo, I'm doing something a little different, and I wanted to explain it in case any of you come by my booth. I'm doing teachings, because as much as I love to do one-on-ones and help people heal and move forward, I really want to empower people to stand in who they are, right? what they are capable of doing, what they can learn to expand their awareness and their consciousness and their connection to not only their guides and angels, but their own spirit. So in my booth this weekend, what I'm doing is come and go, stay for an hour or less, question and answer teachings, making you understand how some of this works, making you understand what's going on in your dreams right now, making you understand why you're drawn to certain things like energy healing or intuitive development, and to teach you a few tricks of the trade to show you how to do that. In addition to that, I do work out of the SoulWORK Center here in Saskatoon. I created that about 3 years ago, following insights and inspiration on the fact that I love these expos and I'd like to have one every day. So I call our center kind of a mini expo where we do workshops and there's one-on-ones and there's a metaphysical store in there as well, because I can't get enough of this stuff, and I know that when people go through a change in their lives that you thirst this and you gotta learn how to integrate it into your life because it's needed, because you want to, because you're craving it so much that you have to honor that. So if you have sucked up all the awesome energy here this weekend and still need more help, please, or not even help, but more connection to that, please come and see us at the center. And lastly, I've written a book. This book explains not only the experiences with my mom that night, but many things that have happened in my life that, to me, need to be spoken about, that people need to understand that we are this big, that we are this capable of doing huge changes and making this the kind of world that we dream of. So a hand of somebody who hasn't read it that could really use a lift right now, coming right at you, my dear. Thank you. Oh, you're very welcome. Enjoy it. I'm selling them in my booth as well if anybody's interested. And yeah, is there any questions for me before they kick me off here? About anything, I guess, really. How many people know? Oh, yeah, sorry. Well, prophesized in all kinds of places, actually. To me, lots of cultures in society have been knowing that this change is happening, and it has to do with the cosmos, as well as just with the times we're living in. So, you know, the Mayans, their calendar, you've heard about that one, that predicts the change in the world shift. And some people didn't understand what that meant when they said the world was ending, right? But to me, it's because that era of time is ending and we're moving into a whole different vibration and awareness and understanding. It's biblical. Revelations, for example. And many cultures have seen this shift coming. Actually, all you have to do is read about it, like Google it. People talk about moving from the third to the fifth dimension, for example. That's another way of saying that we're moving up in vibration and awareness, and that people are becoming more connected with their spirit side as opposed to just the physical parts of this world, right? Yeah. How many here are already smack dab in the middle of a path and are just looking for a few answers to push them over the edge and move into a whole new, yes, come on. I know there's a lot of you out there. Yeah. You know what? From the bottom of my heart, we're here for a reason. The people who are guided to be in this line of work, we need you. There's no competition, there's not too many of them. I will not see enough healers in this world till there's as many as us as there is lawyers and doctors and teachers in this world. And there should be a healer in every family, and there should be a teacher who is connected with spiritual abilities in every family, and it should just be something that we go to. It should not be something that we don't speak about anymore. And so stand in it with all your might, because when you stand in that light of who you are, it just ripples out into the world, and it's felt everywhere. It actually helps to increase that vibration so that other people can tap into it. It's like getting past that tipping point of when one person experiences it and then another, and then pretty soon the whole darn world can, because people have opened up doors. So consider those that are just sitting there thinking that they need to do this. trust that we need you to tip the scales in this world to help to bring more of that awareness in and stand in that. There's many of us out there. All right? Any other quick questions? Am I off? I'm over? 1 minute. He's videotaping it for me. All right. You guys, you just really, really, really need to trust that you are as connected to this as anybody, that everybody has the capacity in them to hear a call in the night for help, to call in whatever you are looking to manifest in your life, and to live from an empowered perspective. Okay? Awesome. Thank you for your time.